Ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls, you're watching yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans 1977. It's time for WWE Evolve Event Center, where wrestling action involves the WWE ID prospects, the PC prospects, and indie wrestlers from all over the world. Ladies and gentlemen, and here's the man to bring you the wrestling report and action from the WWE Evolve Event Center, Mr. Eric M. Lima. Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977, episode 2657 of the show. And it is November the 5th, 2025, 10:11 p.m. How's it going? Well, there was supposed to be a big concern about, big gusty winds that started from tonight into tomorrow. But it seems like to me that we have not lost the rest of the power to our house. But like I said, still, we're still... like I said, everything's been rerouted, and even though I do have an internet for the time being, hopefully we'll figure out what the heck is going on. So, because we all thought it was that device, but it wasn't, so who knows? Maybe some old electricity, I don't know. Well, I'm sure everybody will figure out what in the world. We just need to figure out what's wrong, and hopefully we get that settled. Even though half of our house is still without power, we are doing the best we can with what we got here. So be it as it may, we're going to get right into it, and that is WWE Evolve. That's right, and we're 3 weeks removed from Succession, and as you know, Jackson Drake's already got another challenger lined up for him, and it is Keanu Carver. So a little bit more on that situation, because Jackson Drake is a bit of a pest, shall we say. So anyways, we'll get more into that. It started out with a tag team matchup, a grudge match. There's a rubber match between this grudge match as Adrenaline Drip, the team of Cappuccino Jones and Jack Cartwheel, took on the team of Jax Presley and Harley Riggins. I don't know Harley Riggins is any relation to Reno Riggins. I don't know if Jax Presley is related to Elvis Presley, but might I digress. And heck of a tag team match. In fact, Adrenaline Drip came out with a house of fire before the bell even rang, flying all over the place against the big guys. But in the end, it was the team of Presley and Riggins, who they call themselves Unnecessary Roughness or Necessary Roughness. But anyways, they picked up the victory over the two WWE ID prospects. And women's action, Hayes Jamison. Now, she was... Now, a friendly reminder about the Evolve. The Evolve tapings. They happened before the WWE releases. And Hayes Jamison was one of the released talents. So this matchup happened beforehand. She went up against the debuting PJ Vaza, who was another LFG prospect, and PJ Vaza with her power and strength picking up the victory. Now, when y'all thinking, if you see what she looks like, you think, oh, she should join the Bloodline or MFT. Stop it! That's what I was thinking too. But I said to myself, stop it! Just let the lady try to make a name for herself. You know what I mean? So, and if she does well, maybe she'd be part of the MFTs. I don't know. We'll be very interested to see what PJ Vaza can do in the women's division. She did go after the champ, so don't be surprised if Carly Graves says, "Hey, I want PJ Vaza in the ring." Then Chewy Martinez interviewed her after the matchup, and PJ Vaza basically said, "Hey, listen, I'm going straight after the champ. That's how I make my impact. And I'm going to see what I'm going to do." And then Jackson Drake goes to talk to Stevie Turner about talking her out of the matchup. And Stevie Turner was getting annoyed by that. And then Keanu Carver tries to go after Jackson Drake with that injured right hand and almost punched Drake's lights out and punched through a wall. And then Stevie Turner goes, "You got your match. It's happening next week. Now calm down, cool off." Gotta respect Stevie Turner. Remember, Stevie Turner was still the PM. I'm sure they're going to work a storyline where she's gone from as PM. We'll find out for sure. Then And then Mike Cunningham. Fun part about Mike Cunningham, if you don't know who he is, he's been trained by none other than undisputed WWE champion Cody Rhodes from the Nightmare Factory. He's a product from there. And I got, that if you get an endorsement from Cody Rhodes, you might go somewhere. You might end up going somewhere, man. And it's a huge deal. So Mike Cunningham did talk to Super Sean Legacy. Sean Legacy was nice, welcomed him in. Marcus Matthews was sitting there trying to ponder, and then says, good luck out there against Brooks Jensen. And then Legacy was talking to Marcus Matthews. Marcus Matthews says, hey, I let you down, the WID program down, and everything. Oh, no, you didn't know. You just keep right on going. I have your back, you have my back. Yeah. And so Marcus Matthews and Super Sean Legacy, hey, that's a little positive influence. Then Mike Cunningham took on Brooks Jensen, the second-generation wrestling star. Now, Brooks Jensen tweeted out that he wants revenge on John Cena for his father's career. Remember, his father, Bull Buchanan, was made a comeback to the WWE as B2, B squared, John Cena's lackey, saying "Booyah!" But I'm sure a victory over Mike Cunningham will put him in that conversation of being part of the Last Time Is Now tournament, where the winner will face John Cena in his final matchup at Saturday Night's Main Event. And then the man from Alabama, Bama, ended up winning the matchup over Mike Cunningham. So, and then Eric Rourke had another promo of the beginning of his career, part 3. And this unique individual, this unique flamboyant individual will try to make a mark in the WWE Evolve brand. So we shall see. And he's in the WID prospect as well. And I believe he's from Massachusetts, if I'm not mistaken. If that's the case, then best of luck to you. Make Massachusetts proud. That's all I'm going to say. And then they have a promo on Callie Armstrong, who's returning next week for a first week back on Evolve since losing the title to Kendall Gray. Where's her mindset at? We'll find out next week. Then and then Jackson Drake came back to bug Stevie Turner once again. She got annoyed. She says, "Hey, the match is on. The match is still on." It seems like Jackson Drake is not trying to weasel his way out of this matchup. He's trying to weasel his way out of it. He's a big baby. Go in there, go in there and take your beatings like a man, you big baby. Jackson Drake's a big baby. Wah, wah. And then the main event was Chantel Monroe versus Wendy Chu. Wendy Chu trying to give a whole new outlook on life and she's trying to stop being the sleepy psycho. But in the end, Chantel Monroe ended up beating Wendy Chu, and she's yelling at her, Wendy Chu calling her a freak, get the freak out of my wing and all that. And then Jackson Drake, one more time, started to bug the heck out of Stevie Turner, and he said, you know what, that's fine. I'll defend the title. But I always trying to find a way to come out on top. If I were the rest of the Vanity Project, a.k.a. Swipe Right and Zeta Steel, stay away from Kiana Carver. Because Kiana Carver can really carve you if you're not careful. So, but then Jackson Drake says, you know what? I'll defend my title because I'm Jackson Drake. That's what he says, basically. So that's for episode 2657 of the show. Episode for November the 5th, 2025, 10:19 p.m. Before I conclude this video, I want to wish my father once again a happy birthday. He's turned 73 today. But I kind of feel bad because with everything going on that happened this morning, with half of our house losing power and all that, I think he doesn't get a chance to enjoy his birthday. You know, he did get a chance to enjoy it this past Sunday, as when we had some pizza and had a good time with family. And but I kind of feel bad for him because it's been his birthday trying to figure out why half of our house is without power. So it's like we all thought it was a device, but it wasn't. So it's just something. I kind of, like I said, I really do feel bad for my father. I really did. But nevertheless, it happened. We'll figure everything out in the meantime, in between time. So, but I have internet. I have And basically, they had to use my plug to do it because I still have power in my house. We'll see what happens there. So, so that's kind of it for the time being. Next episode, we'll talk about AEW Dynamite as Blood and Guts. This is the final AEW Dynamite before the Blood and Guts event next week. And there's some changes that happened in the women's Blood and Guts match. I will explain that. When we get to that episode. All right. So that's it. That's all the time there is. And until the next episode comes running around, Mr. Announcer, take us home. That is all for today's episode of the show. This is Mr. Announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E and do it for Bob Saget production and in association with a Raving Bull for 3000 Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. See you later on the next episode of the show. Goodbye for now.